Thanks for joining us in video number 2 of this series brought to you by US Foods about sustainable seafood sourcing. I'm Barton Seaver, and by now, if you're watching this video, you've likely committed yourself to making some improvements towards sustainability in your supply chain as regards seafood. You've probably talked to your chefs or managers, maybe your purveyor. You've maybe even referenced an online guide or talked to a representative from a conservation program. These are all great steps. So what's next? How do you actually go down this path and even set out a path in front of you? Well, the answer is you benchmark where you are now. You can't manage what you don't measure. So the very first step, benchmark where you are currently with your sustainable seafood efforts. The first step is to gather data. Now, your purveyor is going to be a very important partner in this whole process. So let's start with them. They probably have the data of everything you've bought for the last year. So ask them for it, and then put it all in a spreadsheet and begin to reference it against any of the online guides towards sustainability to find out how or what percentage of your current procurement is sustainable. Once you have that laid out, then you begin to identify areas of opportunity for improvement, and that takes you to the next step. It's important to note that with sustainability, we have to measure where we are so that we can manage it towards improvement, but it's not all about just improvement. We should also measure the areas where we're doing things right already. Momentum, positive attitude is such an important part of this, and it's very likely that some of the items on your menu right now are currently being sourced from sustainable places. And this is great, and for that, congratulations. Your purveyor is the single most important partner that you're going to have in this whole process. Cultivating and maintaining good relationships with the businesses or individuals from whom you're receiving your seafood is critical. I cannot stress enough how important this is, because a personal relationship creates a sense of responsibility for that supplier for all the products delivered to your door. If there's no personal relationship, then there's no one with whom you can discuss and evolve your standards, work on with to help achieve those standards, and ultimately to hold accountable when those standards are not met. The first thing you need to do with your purveyor is to talk to them about what you want to achieve. Set out for them your goals, but then also reciprocate, because they're likely as interested in sustainability as you are, and they've likely done a lot of work towards achieving it in their own supply. So there's a couple of good questions that you can ask your supplier. The first, who's their point person for sustainability? How can you then interact with that point person to have an evolving conversation about emerging opportunities for sustainability? Ask your purveyor what their sustainability goals are, and then how you might help them achieve that. Because, hey, this is a win-win situation for everybody involved. The other important asset at your fingertips is your network of colleagues. As with everything in restaurants, our success depends upon relationships. And we all have a robust network of friends and colleagues that we've worked with that we should tap into. Ask them about their own journeys towards sustainable seafood supply chains. Learn from them. Ask chefs what obstacles they've faced and what best practices they've developed to answer to those. This, your own community, is your greatest asset. Sustainable seafood as an action is pretty simple. It's to learn and constantly improve upon our practices. It's important to know that you don't have to be perfect. It's a journey and a commitment to following through on your goals. To learn more about sustainable seafood and how it can impact you in your operations, visit restaurant.org. And always, a big thank you to US Foods for sponsoring these videos on sustainable seafood.